We have a lot to cover on the show today. Before I get into that, just want to remind you guys, as always, to tip or donate, get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the $ icon in the chat. This will help create a super chat for you that I will acknowledge during the live broadcast, and it just makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, we appreciate your guys' viewership each and every day as we come out with content. And also, the other way of helping out the show is by going to the link GSMCPodcast.net. So, let's get into what we are going to discuss for today. So, I, again, apologize for that opening because I don't know what happened there. I was sounding good, and then all of a sudden, of course, I go live and my voice acts up on me. Again, still not 100%, but we're slowly but surely making our way there. But we're going to start off the show. We're going to talk about the Patriots now. We're going to talk about their upset victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Jerod Mayo picking up his first win as the head coach of the Patriots in the post-Bill Belichick era. Then, in the second part of the show, we will talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their win over the Atlanta Falcons in Kirk Cousins' first game as the Falcons' starting quarterback. And the starting quarterback for the Steelers was not Russell Wilson. It ended up being Justin Fields. So we'll get into that as well. We'll also get into talking about Josh Allen and his performance in the Bills' comeback victory against the Cardinals. In the fourth part of the show, we'll get into talking about the NFC South. We'll talk about the Saints and their performance against the Panthers, as well as, and I know I talked about it briefly when I was going over the rookie quarterback performances, we'll get into talking about Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers' performance against the Commanders as well. And then in the final part of the show, we're going to do power rankings. I'm going to list my top 5 teams after week 1. So that'll be at the end of the show, so make sure to stick around for that. So let's get into the first topic, which is getting into talking about the Patriots and their upset victory over the Bengals. So this was a surprise, to say the least. A lot of people picked the Bengals in their survivor pools. I was one of those people. I didn't feel great about it. To be honest, I really didn't feel great about a lot of the games this week. It really, none of them really seemed like guarantees for me. So, but this one, I looked at and said, you know what, the Bengals, they start off the season usually slow, but I feel like they could still get the win, right? Well, that ended up not happening. The Patriots, they ended up picking up the win, 16-10, low scoring game. And look, is it time to panic for the Bengals? No. This is what they typically do. But I mean, also, like last year, they lost to the Browns, who ended up making the playoffs. And Joe Burrow seems to always have a problem playing against the Browns in Cleveland. The year before that, they lost to Mitchell Trubisky and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then, what did they do the year before that? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh wait, they played the Vikings, and that was Jamar Chase's first game, and he played really well. I think that game went to overtime, actually. But yeah, the Bengals won that game. But these last couple of years, they start off slow. And this was no different, except this was against a Patriots team that is looked at as being one of the, bottom 5 teams in the NFL. And they still very well could be that. But, yeah, this was kind of a surprise. I thought the Bengals would still be able to, pull off the victory. But there's just been a lot going on with them. I mean, the Jamar Chase stuff, you had T. Higgins being ruled out. I mean, we weren't sure if Jamar Chase was going to play with all the contract stuff that was going on. And then he popped up on the injury report with an illness. So, yeah, we really didn't know what was going on. But Chase ended up playing. And the Bengals, they actually didn't score a point in the first half. They got shut out. The Patriots outscored them 10-0 in the first half. The Bengals actually were driving, and it looked like they were going to score a touchdown in the first half. Tanner Hudson, the tight end, looked like he was going to score, but then Kyle Duggar knocked out the ball, and the Patriots ended up recovering, and the Bengals didn't get any points off of that drive. Jacoby Brissett started the game. I mean, didn't put up monster stats. He went 15 to 24, 121 yards. Ramondre Stevenson is a player of the game for the Patriots. 25 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Got that contract extension this offseason. He's a good running back. He is a good running back. So that's one playmaker that the Patriots have on this offense. And then the leading receiver was Austin Hooper, 2 receptions for 31 yards. But, the Patriots did, what they could do on offense. And then as for Joe Burrow, not a good game for him. 21 to 29, 164 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 3 sacks on the day. Brissett was sacked 1 time. It looked like he got banged up in this game too, but was still able to finish out the game. Zach Moss had a touchdown in this game for the Bengals. He was their leading rusher, 9 carries for 44 yards. Jamar Chase, of course, was their leading receiver, but only 6 receptions for 62 yards, and they were on 6 targets. Burrow had a fumble, but didn't lose that. Yeah, Tanner Hudson had a fumble, lost that, and also Charlie Jones had a fumble and lost that as well. I think that was on on the punt, I believe, that the Patriots ended up recovering that, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to see if I could find it, but yeah, that was another fumble that happened in the game as well. But yeah, the Patriots, look, they have a good defense. That's not going away. But what's going to be challenging for them is the ability to score points, because there is not a ton of playmakers on that side of the ball. But this is not a year for the Patriots to be a contender. This is a rebuilding year, but a win like this has got to give a team a lot of confidence. Going on the road and playing a team that many people look at as, if everything goes well for them, they could be a Super Bowl team. Because this is a team that has made a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow and that group. This is a win that could really go a long way. And next week, the Patriots play the Seahawks at home. I wasn't really impressed by the Seahawks. They played a sloppy game. So, I think the Patriots maybe, it's possible they could start off 2-0. Not guaranteeing anything, but, it's possible. And I only had them at 4 wins, I think. So if they start off 2-0, they're already halfway to the amount of wins I gave them. So, now, I guess the bigger thing, well, not I guess, but the bigger thing is, should we panic on the Bengals? No. We should not. But I know there were some videos on social media going around of Joe Burrow, and he was kind of, moving around his wrist, and, people were overanalyzing him picking up a water bottle and saying, this guy can't pick up a water bottle, whatever one of the tweets I saw said. First of all, I think we're overreacting a little bit, but, it is a little concerning when you're seeing him, working out his wrist on his throwing hand, because that's what ended his season last year. Now, I think it's something that he's just gonna have to deal with over the course of the year. But if we get to a point where he misses a game due to a wrist injury, if something flares up and it becomes a problem, yeah, then it's time to worry. But right now, I don't think we should be sounding the alarms just yet. But that doesn't mean you still don't like to see him doing that. And he's, the reason why people have the Bengals as Super Bowl contenders. And if he ends up getting hurt again and missing an extended period of time, well, the Bengals' season is a wash. And I know I've brought this up too before. You really hope that he doesn't turn into another Andrew Luck. Because Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when he's right. And if this continues and he's dealing with injuries constantly, I mean, again, he's heading down that path. So I hope not. But that's something that, I do think about. But it's important that we don't overreact. It's one game, and this is what the Bengals typically do. But it doesn't get any easier for them because guess where they're going? They're going to Kansas City this week to take on the Chiefs. And judging by, how they looked on Sunday and the slow starts that they get off to, and look at how the Chiefs played, Bengals are looking at 0-2 again. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Joe Burrow usually plays well against Patrick Mahomes. But, yeah, early on in the season, it might not be a good matchup for him and the Bengals. So, that's my thoughts on the game. Let me know what you guys think, though. Congratulations, though, to Jerod Mayo on picking up that win. Again, that win can go a long way. That could definitely give a team a lot of confidence going forward. So, yeah, we're going to take our next break. While my camera's glitching out, I'll fix it when we come back. When we come back, we will talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers win over the Falcons. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.